But like, what are some ways that you can nourish yourself in this season? It could be anything. It could be anything. But this is such a beautiful time. We've planted those seeds figuratively and literally in the spring. Now we are in the summer. Things are growing. We just have to tend our garden. Like, we really just have to tend our garden, keep ourselves in check, like just nourish ourselves as much as we can in whatever way that looks. Welcome to Alignment Adventures. This is a podcast where we explore what it means to live a fulfilling, aligning, and present life. I'm your host, Lindsay Tanner, and I am so grateful that you are here. Hello, my loves. I am so excited, so grateful that you are here with me today. I am going to be talking about all things summer today, like creating a summer that you love or that you are desiring, how to execute that summer, how to set an intention, creating a summer bucket list, talking about the themes of the summer solstice, all things summer. If you are new here, please subscribe. I have new episodes almost every week. Sometimes they're more sporadic. We just go with the flow over here, but we're always talking about what it means to live an aligning, fulfilling, and present life. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, go to @Lindsay with an A, M as in Michelle Tanner. I share a lot on there. I am on all platforms with that username. I'm not as consistent really on any of them, but I do share some fun stuff over there. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this episode, make sure you are subscribed to my personal YouTube channel, Lindsay with an A, M as in Michelle Tanner. Again, the same username. I recently posted a summer solstice meditation that aligns with all the themes we're going to talk about today. There's some fun journal prompts there in the description. And I have a yoga flow from last year themed around the summer solstice that I filmed in my mother-in-law's backyard in her beautiful garden. It was like the perfect ambiance for a summer solstice yoga flow. Now, if you have no idea about the summer solstice and what I'm talking about, we'll get into all that. Those are things I've just been feeling really called to celebrate recently. So let's get into it. Let's talk about summer and creating a summer that you love. First off, I want to say it feels so good not to be dreading summer. And if you are currently living in Arizona, Texas, Florida, somewhere very hot, I am sending you so much love and compassion. And I do believe that you can still create the summer of your dreams or a summer you're desiring, right? We don't have to put it on a pedestal like New Year's Eve or your birthday or anything like that, but just creating a summer that you love. But if you are somewhere really hot, just make friends with someone that has a pool or get pool access in some way. Maybe you have to pay for it. That's how we survived in Arizona pre-Arlo and post-Arlo. We should have gone to the pool. Or, I don't like the word should, but we could have gone to the pool more often with Arlo. We didn't always make that a priority. Or you can use that time to travel to cooler places. Like in Arizona, we went to Flagstaff, maybe somewhere around you in Texas, Florida, wherever you're at. You can go and travel and see some places that either have a pool or the ocean or somewhere at a higher elevation that's cooler for you. But no matter your situation, even if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you can come back and listen to this in your summer. No matter your situation, you're always creating your own reality, and you can create a season that you truly enjoy and that aligns with you. Now let's talk about how to create a summer that you love. So what's interesting about summer is that you can take it two directions. For some people, they feel the call to slow down, go within, take it easy. Other people are feeling energized, super creative. They have a lot of trips planned. Both are normal. Both are allowed. What I think is important is just tuning into yourself, tuning into your body, your soul. What do you need in this season to nourish you? That's a huge theme of the summer solstice and of Cancer season, which is the zodiac sign we will be in here in just a few days when this comes out. I also have a Cancer baby, so feel very aligned to that sign. And my ascendant is in Cancer. If you're not into zodiac and all that, take it or leave it, whatever. It doesn't necessarily matter. Take what resonates, leave the rest. But just know that it is a theme of all the different seasons that we are heading into to nourish yourself. And that's going to look different for every single one of us. What is nourishing to me is to be outside more. And I know, again, even if you're in the Midwest, some days can be really hot and muggy and humid. Or if you're in Arizona, some days are literally like 120. So it may not be practical every day. I know for us, we've been loving getting up and walking in the morning. You can even do that before you have to go to your job or you have to go do some other obligation. If you can get up early enough and maybe like pop in a podcast or some beautiful music and just get outside and go for a walk, or just sit outside, journal outside, read outside, meditate outside. This is a beautiful time to find your own connection to nature and to get even more woo on you and more spiritual, because that's just who I am. This is also the time that I believe like the elementals are coming out, the fairies. I truly believe in fairies. I really do. Sometimes I feel like I can really feel their energy and I see something out of the corner of my eye. To me, they just live in a different dimension. They're a different frequency, so we don't necessarily see them, but they're like the keepers of the land. It is said that you can connect with these fairies and elementals even easier around the summer solstice, especially when the sun is rising and the sun is setting. I mean, that time is just magical anyways. Like, things are shifting, energy is shifting. I love being outside during those times if I can. So this is my encouragement to you, even if you're not into connecting with the fairies. Just go outside and connect with nature in general. That is so good for your mental health, for your spiritual health, for your overall well-being. Just go outside, water your flowers, plant some flowers, just go for a walk, touch a tree, whatever way you want to go. As woo or as not woo, as you want to go, everyone can benefit from going outside and forming their own connection to nature. Also, I do want to say, for my local people, we seem to be out of cicada season. We missed a majority of cicada season. We were gone for 2 weeks, as you know, in Italy, so we missed a lot of that. I heard it got pretty intense in certain areas. I am really trying to shift my relationship to bugs. I historically have been very scared of bugs, but as I've been on this journey, I feel more in tune with all creatures. So even though they did kind of freak me out, like they are massive bugs, they weren't harmful. But hopefully, if that discouraged you from being outside, now you can be outside as the cicada season is starting to tone down a little bit. Sounded like it was pretty intense, but like I said, we missed most of that. Another thing that I think could be really beautiful to do during summer is just romanticize things. I see this talked about all the time on social media, like just creating an ambiance around things. Or if you're reading, go and read outside, or maybe make a fun little drink for yourself, whether it's alcoholic or not, whatever you feel like in that moment. But like, just romanticize certain moments. Or when you're on the walk and you see the beautiful moon rising, like how magical is that? Or you might see fireflies start to come out. This reminds me of last year. We had just gotten back from Arizona, which it's been a year since we've moved back from Arizona. Isn't that crazy? I want to do an episode either on my YouTube channel or here, or maybe both, talking about all the things I've learned this past year since quitting my job and moving back here. So many things. Anyways, last year at this time, I was at my mom's house. She lives on a farm with my stepdad, and it was the first time I'd seen fireflies in years, because we usually weren't home during that time when fireflies were out. Anyways, the fireflies were out over this field, I think, because like I said, they live on a farm and the sun was setting, because that's when fireflies come out, aka the fairies, I say. And it was just magical. It was so beautiful, such a beautiful moment. And sometimes you really have to slow down to take in those moments. Like, slow down and smell the roses, literally. Slow down and go smell your flowers. It's little micro moments like that that can feel so aligning and so nourishing for your soul. And let's talk about the themes of Cancer season and the summer solstice a little bit more, because that is a huge theme of the summer solstice. So from a scientific perspective, in case you didn't know, the summer solstice is when the northern hemisphere, and this happens in the southern hemisphere too, just at the opposite time, but the summer solstice for us is when the earth is completely tilted. The most it will be tilted towards the sun. That means we have our longest days, the sun is shining, the longest amount of time in the year. Now, energetically, what that brings with it is just a time to like shine light and feel that hope, and shine light in areas in your life that need that light or need that hope or need that raising of vibration. I know I feel that a lot. I think it's a part of just like the season I'm in and like maybe the stage of consciousness I'm at, but like I feel deeply. Like my highs are high and my lows are low. And there are times where I'm just like questioning everything. Like, am I on the right path? Is what I'm doing, does it even matter? Should I be doing this? Blah, blah, blah. All mind stories. This is such a beautiful time to shine the beautiful light from the sun, from your internal guidance, because we all have that internal sun. We're all connected. Everything is connected on those worries and anxieties and limiting beliefs. Like, just allow the sunshine to cover all of those things and engulf all of those things that just feel heavy in your life. It's not a forcing. Allow it. And you can use my summer solstice meditation and journal prompts to help you with that if you need it. Another huge part of the themes of the summer solstice in this time of year is just nourishing yourself, like I talked about, whatever that looks like for you. It could literally be nourishing yourself with good food. That is one of my intentions, which I'm going to share here in a little bit, is like eating seasonally and just nourishing myself with yummy, delicious, not only just like food that is good for me, but food that just feels good to my soul. And those tend to be lining up more and more and more. But even if you do want to like indulge in like some ice cream or a snow cone, like add that to your summer bucket list, which I will also share mine here in a little bit. But like, what are some ways that you can nourish yourself in this season? It could be anything. It could be anything. But this is such a beautiful time. We've planted those seeds figuratively and literally in the spring. Now we are in the summer. Things are growing. We just have to tend our garden. Like, we really just have to tend our garden, keep ourselves in check, like just nourish ourselves as much as we can in whatever way that looks. Maybe it is more rest. Maybe it is more time outside. Maybe it is more journaling and writing to your internal guidance. Maybe it is eating more nourishing foods. Maybe it's moving a little bit more, doing those daily walks. Whatever it is, only you know what is nourishing to you. But just take some time to reflect on that, because this is such a beautiful time to evaluate what is nourishing for you. But really, it's about kind of pausing and just tuning back into that trusting of ourselves, trusting of the universe, trusting that things are always working out for our highest good. I feel that right now. Like, I have put intentions out there and I have set things that I would love to manifest, and now is the time to just like nourish and tend to my garden and trust that those things are coming to me at the right time, in divine timing. Everything is always working out for my highest good, even when it doesn't seem like it is. So this is just a beautiful time to remind yourself of that. The sun is shining so much. You can feel that energy. You can feel that hope. You can feel that warmth. So just allow yourself to pause and tune into that energy. Okay. Like I said, 2 action steps you can take from this episode if you want to create the summer that you are going to love and enjoy is 1, you can set an intention, or maybe intentions plural, and 2, create a summer bucket list, which I'm not a huge fan of that verbiage, like bucket list, but whatever, we're going to go with it for now. So my intention for this season is just to nourish myself, mind, body, and soul. So here are some ways I'm going to do that. When I was reflecting on it, like, how can I nourish myself in this season? 1, I'm going to try to take more intentional time for myself. Like, I'm just feeling that nudge. And that's been such a struggle for me this past year, is to find the balance of quote unquote working on the podcast and the YouTube channel and all that, while also nourishing myself, which a lot of times those do overlap, because what I do, I love. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it, if it didn't feel aligning. But those mental pressures come in of like, I should be doing this and I should be working harder. Like, those societal norms of finding your worth in your work and what you're producing are so deep. they are so deep, and I'm so ready to release it. So ready to release it. Like, I know better, but my mind still has those stories. So I'm still working through that, and it's been a struggle finding the balance because I can only like either take personal time or work time in small chunks throughout my day because I'm a mom. So I'm just finding that balance, but I am setting the intention to have more intentional, nourishing time for myself. So that could be being outside more, which I can do with my son. That's still nourishing for me. Like, that's another thing I'm starting to realize is I don't have to do all these things when my son is asleep. Like, I can include him on a lot of this stuff. And I think that's so beneficial for him to see, like, me taking care of myself. Like, when I work out, he's with me. And sometimes that can be tricky because he is an energetic toddler that is like running all over the place. But I love that he also sees me taking care of myself and will see me like being outside with my bare feet in the grass breathing, or see me meditating. Like, sometimes he'll kind of copy me, and I think that's really cool for him to observe. So some other ways that I'm nourishing myself is getting back to reading more. I had a really big reading goal this year, just because I set it because I don't want to be on my phone as much. So I figure if I have this big reading goal, I will pick up my phone, or not, that's not what I want to do. I will pick up my book more than I will pick up my phone. And I kind of lost that these past few months. Like, I started off strong January, February, March, and I'm getting back into that a little bit more, especially reading outside feels so good, so aligning for my soul. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to try to eat more seasonally, maybe go to some more local farmers markets, or there's just like lots of little fruit stands around here. I don't know if you have that where you're at, where I can go and get some local produce. That just feels so nourishing for my soul and for my body. And I'm also setting the intention to journal to my internal guidance more. I'm not going to set this as a daily goal, because then it just feels like a should and my mind doesn't want to do it. Like, if I try to make something a daily goal, like, then my stubbornness comes out and sometimes I don't want to do it. So I'm just going to try to do it more often, like especially when it feels right, get out an actual journal, write it down. Sometimes I do just do it on my phone, but I've been feeling called to do more paper pencil types of stuff, or pen paper types of journaling and writing. So I'm going to do that more often, especially when I'm feeling very stuck in a mind story. I'm going to take some time, breathe, and go and write to my internal guidance and see what it has to say, because that is such an empowering practice. And even though I teach it, even though I have a course on it, even though I have internal guidance sessions, I still forget sometimes that I have that voice within me, and I can tune into it for loving, guiding wisdom. Oh, one more thing. I want to share my summer bucket list just because I think it's fun. There's not really that much on there. I keep adding to it, but maybe this will spark some ideas for you to create a bucket list. I'm going to do the same thing for fall. It's hard for my mind to not get excited about fall because you know how much I love fall, but we're all about being present over here, and I do love summer, and I just want to like juice this summer. Like, I just want to do all the summery things and really romanticize it and enjoy it and just nourish my soul with these things. So I have quite a few different like St. Louis specific things, because there's lots of different parks around here that we can go to, especially ones that are kid and toddler friendly. I encourage you to look up parks around you, whether you have a kid or not, even for you, like a walking path. I bet there are so many more than you realize, especially if you're in a less populated area. Like, just make that a fun like research activity, looking up different nature like parks or paths around you. So I do have a few specific St. Louis ones if you're interested. I have Millennium Park, the Botanical Garden Concert. I also have a ton pinned on my social media platforms. It's almost overwhelming. Like, this is a good problem to have, but it's almost overwhelming how many refurbished parks there are around here to take your children to, like a huge pro to St. Louis. So I need to write them all down. So when we're trying to figure out what to do each day, like, I have my list ready. I have concerts in general on here. I'm going to one concert with my mom and my sister, Earth, Wind, and Fire. We got our tickets for her birthday. I'm very excited for that. I also have another concert in the fall, but we'll leave that then. But if I can incorporate more concerts this summer, especially free ones, like, I love live music. We are going to go to the Transportation Museum, which we actually already did, but we might go back. That is a really fun St. Louis thing. I would love to go and walk and get ice cream or frozen cones. That's what I put them on here, but like frozen ice. What are those called? They have a more specific name, but like ices, with the flavor and the sugar. That just feels like a very summery thing for me. Lots of walks. Go to the cabin, which we already have a few weekends planned at Stephen's family cabin. It's in a remote part, or at least a more remote part of Missouri, and it is so beautiful. See fireworks. I don't think I saw any fireworks last year, which was disappointing. Read outside, watch a thunderstorm roll in, and play in the rain. I especially want to do that with Arlo. He loves anything to do with water. I mean, he is a water sign. Like I said, he's Cancer, but he is so entertained by water. So I think it'd be fun to go play in the rain. So I hope that inspired you to maybe create your own summer bucket list. If that is something that feels aligning, don't make it a should. Don't feel like you have to make some like extravagant summer. Those are mostly like small moments, right? Like being outside, reading outside, going to get ice cream, right? I just wanted to have some intentionality going into this season because this is our first Midwest summer in a while. I just am feeling refreshed in this season, and I want to continue to nourish myself and just make the most of the season, not only for myself, but also for my family, because you create your reality. You get to create this intention. You get to create this bucket list if you want to, and you get to create what you do in this season. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, take a screenshot, share it with me on Instagram, any takeaways that you have, or you can just message me on there at Lindsay with an A, M as in Michelle Tanner, like I said before. Please share this episode with anyone that you think would love to hear this message. That means so much to me when you share this podcast. That is just such a beautiful gift to help me expand my message to as many people as possible. Like I mentioned, if you're new here, please subscribe, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or you can subscribe all those places. Again, that just helps the show so much. And of course, I'm sending you all the love, all the presents, all the gratitude, all the nourishment that you need in this season. And of course, I will see you in the next episode of Alignment Adventures.